Students, this is a video to make a correction on your flipbook notes. This was part of your back page where we defined the degree of a monomial and then the degree of a polynomial. And this is a little bit misleading, so I want to actually have you correct this in your notes. So I defined this in that video as the degree of a polynomial is the degree of is the largest exponent of the variable. And technically that's not a full explanation. So it's actually a little bit easier than that. So here's what we're going to do is I'm going to have you just cross this part out. And we're going to write in here instead. Let me see if I can get that to show up. I'll put this in green so you can see it. The degree of a polynomial is the largest degree of any single term. Hope you can read that okay. So the degree of a polynomial is the largest degree of any single term. Basically, that's a simpler definition because if you look over here, when we're looking at the degree of a monomial, you take this one term and you add up all the exponents of that one term, and that becomes a degree. When you can look at a polynomial, you look at the individual terms and you find the term which is also a monomial, like 3k to the fourth is a monomial, and you add up all the exponents for that term. So all the examples here, that never comes into play because we only have one variable here that we would actually have to figure out what the degree is. So the additional thing that we're adding is saying, hey, what if you had, let's see if I can write this in for you. What if you had a polynomial that said -4, it's not very visible, let me make that a little bit heavier. You've got -4 x cubed y plus 12 x squared y to the fifth. So if you had this and you asked the question, what is the degree of this polynomial? The way it would work is you would look at each one of these monomials separately. The degree of this one, since y has an exponent of 1, the degree of this term is 4. The degree of this term is x squared and y to the fifth. That's 2 plus 5 is 7. So the degree of this polynomial is actually 7. So I changed the definition because it makes more sense. You look at every individual term and look at the degree of that term. The highest one will be the degree of the polynomial. And remember, class, also, don't be concerned about coefficients. If this had a 12 to the 6th power, the coefficient or any number value, we do not look at the exponent of that term when we're adding up to find the degree. So you ignore the coefficients even if they have an exponent. You just look at the exponents on the variables. All right, hope that helps to clear that up.